to our two warm-up exercises, after which I will introduce today's 8-minute practice. First warm-up practice is bringing our attention to what it feels like when we're smiling. So it's a 15-second smile, and we're connecting to our bodies, thoughts, emotions, and breath as we're smiling. So not just smiling, it's actually a mindful smile because we're combining that with that experience of connection to the body. So 15 seconds starting now. All righty. And then our second warm-up exercise is mindful breathing. Breathing is something that we usually take for granted. It just kind of happens automatically. But we have an opportunity to experience it consciously and to bring our attention to the full experience of breathing. And that's why we call it a mindful breathing practice. So lining up the head, the neck, and the spine so that we can sit in a comfortable position. And then embodying those attitudes of alert attention and self-acceptance, just accepting who we are in this moment, preparing ourselves for this 2-minute mindful breathing practice. And now bringing our attention to the breath as we breathe in and out through the nose. Full attention to the breath. Noticing how it feels in the body. Nose breathing helps us with mindful breathing because science has shown us that nose breathing actually shifts the autonomic nervous system out of the fight or flight mode. So that's why we combine it with mindfulness. So fully experiencing each in-breath, each out-breath, breathing diaphragmatically, which means that on the in-breath, the belly is inflating, and then on the out-breath, it's deflating. If you want to double check to make sure that that belly is inflating and deflating on the in and out breath, you could just put your hand there and feel that belly as it inflates on the in breath and deflates on the out breath. Breathing. Every once in a while, silently saying to yourself, breathing. It helps to keep the attention where you want it to be, in this case, with the breathing. Also, an important part of the practice is noticing when the attention wanders off. Number one. Number two, where does it wander to? Maybe it wanders to a part of the body, or a thought, or an emotion. And then when you've noticed that, bringing the attention back to the breath. Very important part of mindfulness practice is that Noticing when the attention wanders and then bringing it back over and over again. It's that simple repetition that allows us to build an effective practice. Staying with the breath. The breath can be handled unconsciously as part of the autonomic nervous system, or it can be brought under our conscious control. Good way to merge the conscious and the unconscious by fully experiencing the breath. Okay, so our 8-minute practice today is a gratitude practice. And mindfulness, in and of itself, allows experiences like gratitude to bubble up to the surface. So, what's related to gratitude are other experiences, such as kindness, compassion, empathy, forgiveness, appreciation. All of those qualities that we value so much are really interconnected. But we're going to focus in on gratitude today. And although it's a natural byproduct, all of those are natural byproducts of the mindfulness practice, we really don't need to develop those specifically because they will bubble up to the surface by themselves. They're there, they're always there. It's just sometimes other things get in the way. And so with the mindfulness practice, we remove those other things, such as fear and all of those iterations of fear. And once the fear and those various iterations of fear are removed, then our natural nature, it includes those experiences of gratitude and empathy and compassion and so forth, are allowed to bubble up to the surface. So let's start our gratitude practice today. And the reason that we focus in on one of those or a number of those in a practice is because once they do bubble up to the surface, they can be strengthened by focusing our attention on those particular qualities. So it's sort of like a complementary practice with mindfulness. Gratitude's going to be there anyway, but by focusing our attention on that, it's actually going to allow it to emerge even more into our experience. So let's start by focusing on ourselves and noticing what we have to be grateful for about ourselves. What qualities of ourselves do we have to be grateful for? Physically, mentally, emotionally. What about ourselves can we be grateful for? And let's reflect inward on what we have to be grateful for. Maybe we have a particular physical quality that we can be grateful for, or an emotional quality. Maybe we have an ability to empathize with other people. That's something to be grateful for. Or an ability to feel compassion toward other people. Or even just a simple ability to show kindness. A random act of kindness, if we have the ability to simply be kind to others and to the world around us. That's something to be grateful for as well. These simple qualities that we have the potential to experience and embody ourselves. So let's reflect inward on those qualities that we all have, that we can identify, that we can be grateful for. Reflecting inward on those qualities. And if the attention wanders, just notice when it wanders where it goes to, and coming right back to the gratitude. Just holding gratitude in our field of attention, in our field of experience. Identifying those qualities. We all have qualities that we can identify as something that we're grateful for. Maybe we're good at math, and so we can be grateful for our ability to be good at math. Or maybe we're a good dancer, and just having that gratitude so that we can appreciate our ability to dance, our musical ability, or even something as simple as our ability to appreciate food. Just having gratitude for simple things like that. Our ability to appreciate a walk in nature. It's another thing to be grateful for. And now shifting the attention and identifying somebody who is very special in your life, somebody who you feel close to, perhaps a teacher, a mentor, a close friend, or a close relative, and identifying qualities of that person or those people. It can be more than one person. And identifying qualities in them that you're grateful for your ability to be around people like that, who have qualities that you admire and who have qualities that you're grateful for. Maybe those people or that person shows kindness to you, and that's something that you're really grateful for. Or shows compassion at times when you need it. Or helps you with certain projects, maybe helps you with school if you're still in school, or helps you at work. If you need help at work with different projects. And just sitting with that gratitude as you connect to that person or those people. And just noticing where in your body do you feel that gratitude? Is it in one particular place? Maybe it's all over your body. How does it make you feel emotionally, and how does it affect your thoughts and even your breathing? We know that exercising gratitude is a very, very healthy thing to do. Lots of studies behind the health benefits of gratitude, allowing ourselves to feel grateful. Part of the emotional intelligence movement. Staying with that gratitude after we've identified that person or those people in our lives that we're grateful for. And then bringing the attention back to the breath. We'll finish up the practice. If your eyes are closed, let's open them up and continue to practice with the eyes open. It's a great way to create the intention to allow that skill set, that present moment experience, to cross that bridge from our formal practice into our everyday lives. We want to be able to transfer these skills so that we can experience them 24/7, not just when we're practicing formally like this. Eyes are open, still practicing. Okay, now finishing up. Okay, so let's see. Let's do a question. Mary's got a question about mindfulness and spirituality. Okay, so mindfulness, does mindfulness actually enhance the feeling of spirituality? Well, my answer would be yes. And believe it or not, in research, there are ways to identify feelings of spirituality. And mindfulness is known, very well known, to create that sense of spirituality. Now, how do researchers define spirituality? Because I know that if we put 10 people in a room and ask them to define spirituality, we're going to get 10 different definitions. But generally speaking, and from a research point of view, if we had to find a common denominator for a sense of spirituality, I think the best way to describe it would be this feeling of connectedness, and taking it one step further, even, and saying interconnectedness. So first, a feeling of being connected to ourselves, which, believe it or not, is something that we really can't take for granted. It's something that we need to focus on. And that's really at the core of mindfulness practice. It allows us to feel that connection. And then taking it another step further and allowing for an experience of interconnectedness. So that feeling of being connected not just to ourselves, but to people around us and the world around us. And just allowing that feeling of connectedness to expand outwards in all directions, to all things and to all people. And so that's probably a good common denominator definition for a sense of spirituality. Now, yes, I know we can go off and talk about this for hours and hours and hours, but for today's discussion, let's just say that a sense of spirituality is equal to a sense of connectedness and interconnectedness. And the research does show us that people strengthen that feeling of connectedness and interconnectedness with the practice of mindfulness. So, Mary, I hope that answers your question about the connection between mindfulness and spirituality. Finishing up now with our 15-second mindful smile, starting right now. All righty. Always good to spend time with you. Until next time, take care, be well, and I'll see you again.